I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice.
Do your own research.
Consult a professional investment advisor before making any investment decisions.
This show is for entertainment only. Faites vos propres recherches.
Here we are
in another episode
of the Simple Success Podcast.
And
this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
John, I have a question concerning the last episode of the podcast. Last week's? Oh, okay. Go on, DT. Shoot. Just to remind listeners, we were talking about saving pro tips for entrepreneurs. My question is, what's the difference between successful entrepreneurs and a business owner? Good catch, DT. There can be a very big difference. Now, generally, entrepreneurs may be more willing to take big risks, whereas business owners may be focused on the consistent profitability of their business idea. Thanks for clearing that up. Sometimes I use these two terms interchangeably, thinking that they are one and the same thing. Since that's now cleared up, how then does consistent profitability play a role in how a business owner saves? A business owner can be likened to someone riding a bicycle who is trying to maintain some balance and, so to speak, keeps their books balanced. I can see that. Often, this involves not taking big risks with a bicycle, or in this case, their business. You mean the business owner just wants to keep the business afloat? Exactly. But I am thinking that if the business is profitable, what's preventing the owner from having a savings culture? There are different reasons, DT. One reason could be tunnel vision. The business owner is often fixated on just one thing. What's wrong with that? Aren't you the one who keeps saying that I, the great DT, should focus on a goal? Focus and fixation are two different things. If you are fixated on just one thing and ignore everything else, your business will be at risk. I get it. What's the other reason that can prevent a business owner from starting a savings culture? Another reason can be that the business owner does not have enough office space to hold his or her long-term vision. So there's limited resources. What's so important about having a long-term vision in your business model? Well, short-term thinking can only get you so far. Entrepreneurs start their planning process with longer-term thinking, identifying longer-term possibilities for what their businesses could become. As a business owner, do I need a supporting cast to have a saving culture? Let me debunk that myth, DT. Saving is not a small issue. If it were a small issue, everyone would do it. Last season, in one of our podcasts, we spoke about saving in times of plenty and gave the example of Pharaoh and Joseph. Yes, I remember. One of the things in this story is that Pharaoh had a team of thousands of people who helped him to save. He could not do it alone. You get it now? I get it loud and clear. It's a team thing. That it is, my friend. While an entrepreneur may run toward risk, a business owner may, more often than not, run away from it or avoid it. To some business owners, risk is a four-letter word that should not be uttered at any cost. Okay, but what does that have to do with saving? A business owner may be seized by fear or cold feet at the prospect of losing their savings, especially if they're using their savings to fund a risk. But their mentalities are different. Yeah, the entrepreneur has a beast mentality. It's do or do. I like that. Do or do. Yeah, entrepreneurs don't run away from challenges. They take challenges by the horns. I'm no entrepreneur yet, but something tells me that there is something we should take. What's that?
Break number 1.
Hello, everyone. This is John with the Simple Success Podcast, financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Because we know you want to show us some serious love in return for the tremendous benefits you get from us. Please head over to the support link in our written show notes. That's the words on your podcast player. There, you can choose from a $9.99 per month doing level of support, a $4.99 knowing level, or a basic intro level of just 99 cents per month. Great place to start, whichever you choose. Thank you so much for helping us do this for you. And to leave us a voice message, which just might see the light of day in a future podcast, go to those same written show notes. You'll go to a site where you can leave a video, audio, or text-only message depending on how you feel at the moment. You can also send us an audio file attached to an email if you use just more than your phone for stuff. I won't repeat those links because weird. And anyway, show notes. It's all in there, and it's all easy.
Before we went on our break, you gave me reasons why a business owner may not be able to save. In this section, would you give us some saving pro tips for business owners?
Your wish is my command, my friend.
Well, real character voices don't have that problem. All right, John, let's do this.
Start small. Rome was not built in a day. The amount you may be saving may look like pocket change, but for a start, that amount will give you momentum and discipline, which is good for any business plan.
Ooh,
what was that?
It was a hiccup. It's from saving big from the get-go.
That's a great observation. You can burn out your funds and burn out of motivation.
So, for starters, I should take it $1 at a time, 1 day at a time.
You're right. Time management, but friendly, forgiving time management. Take baby steps. Don't feel small because others are taking gigantic steps. Taking baby steps can lead to some pretty unforgettable experiences.
I like the idea of taking baby steps. What other pro tips do you have?
Be kind to yourself. Let your savings earn some interest for you, even if for a start it is minimal, but this is good because you haven't left your money sitting idle in savings.
What happens if I just let it sit idle?
Well, then the joke would be on you. The bank puts it to good use and then lends it to you at interest. Funny, huh?
Not exactly, John. Not after you've opened my eyes. That means I have to choose carefully, right?
Most definitely, DT. Choosing the right savings accounts is key because not all savings accounts are the same. Besides, this is your hard-earned money, and you want to get the best that you can out of it.
Got it. What's the other pro tip?
Have an accountability partner who keeps you in check and makes sure that you are saving.
What do you mean by an accountability partner?
I mean someone or something to hold you to your end of the saving deal. You know, it's one thing to say you will save, and it's another to actually save, and to do it on a consistent basis.
That's a good point, John. I remember that word, consistent.
As long as you're comfortable with this person having some knowledge about your business, it can be great.
Give me a minute. I'm putting that into effect right away.
Way to go, DT. I like how you're getting down to brass tacks without wasting time.
Done. I've set a weekly reminder on my phone. What's the other tip?
Have an automatic savings plan.
What's that?
In this plan, you make a special arrangement with your bank so no one wastes time. A specified amount of money is automatically deposited into your savings account for a specified period.
That means it does not depend on me.
Well, ultimately it does, but yeah, not month by month. And actually, you can do this at most bank websites, where you'd, air quotes, pay a monthly bill, but of money to your savings.
That's really paying yourself first.
Yep. And removing the responsibility of carrying out this transaction will make you stick to the savings plan, come rain or shine. Repeatable tasks, mon ami.
Why?
Because humans can sometimes be a fickle piece of equipment. Or you may skip a week and promise that you'll save double that amount next time around. Now, it's okay to miss a week and make it up, but if you automate your savings plans, you will stick to it automatically.
And consistently, right? Speaking of sticking to it, what else can help me in this regard?
Have a reward and punishment mindset.
Can you explain what that might entail?
Yep. You reward yourself if and when you reach a specific milestone. Like, you can say that if you stick to your plan for 6 straight months, you will pop some champagne to your future success.
That sounds like a good plan. What about punishment?
Punishment may entail forfeiting a splurge or adding a certain percentage to your savings if and when you don't stick to a plan for, say, 6 months.
Ouch, that hurts, but in a good way.
The purpose is to keep you going and have something to look forward to. And this ties in with the next pro tip,
which is
have a specific goal and work towards it. If you save money just for the sake of saving, you may not have the same amount of motivation as when you purchase, say, a vehicle.
That's a good one. Any other pro tip?
Yes, operate a savings account that limits when you can withdraw the money.
Won't that tie up my money? What if I urgently need money for my business?
Look at the positives, DT. This will also make you creative as far as getting money is concerned. You will learn how to come up with solutions on the go. Plus, this is where multiple streams of income come in.
I know where you're going with this, John. Once you start talking about investments, only a SWAT team can stop you.
Can I say one more thing?
I'd be happy to let you.
But first, break number 2.
We know a lot about you already because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. So as soon as you're done with that, tell us your story. We have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a message. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. The reason for subscribing? I thought you'd never ask. When you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. It just happens in your player without you having to go search again. How cool is that? This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers, and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, whatever app and from whatever place you like. And don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Eso es buenísimo. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it, and you win too.
Can I simple that?
Por supuesto. Of course. Just simple it.
Please make sure your seat belts are fastened and your tray tables are in their upright position.
And make sure simple is a verb like Google is a verb.
In the last section, you dropped some heavy pro tips that are enough to make any business owner start saving ASAP.
That's why we're doing this podcast, so that listeners can have lessons. I'll let you go first, E.T. What are some of your takeaways today?
The biggest lesson I learned today is that a savings plan is part of an investing plan.
Break that down, s'il vous plaît.
Many business owners think that saving takes precious money away from their businesses, when, in fact, the savings may act as a spare tire when the business has a flat.
And you've articulated that so eloquently.
Thanks, John. That comes with rubbing shoulders with you.
Of course it does. Now, what else have you learned?
I will tie this lesson to the first one I gave. A saving plan can literally save a business when it is one of those days.
That's a good point. A bank may not be able to come through for your business on a rainy day. This is when your savings can save the day.
Because you could fund yourself.
Right. The biggest and most influential difference between saving and investing is risk.
Risk. That 4-letter word to some business owners.
Yeah, when you save, you are usually able to pull that money out when you need it.
Or after a period of time.
Yes, or after a period of time. When you invest, you have the potential for better long-term gains or rewards. But, as you said, these two factors are interconnected.
What's the other lesson?
Just like saving, investing needs a plan. If a savings plan is a knee-jerk reaction to a situation, the chances of it failing are extremely high. But if it is a well-thought-out and crafted response, I can bet you my bottom dollar, as is said, that it will be a roaring success. The same applies to investing.
No wonder my savings plans have been on and off. I have been in a knee-jerk reaction mode.
Now that you've mentioned it, that's another difference between entrepreneurs and business owners. Entrepreneurial moves are often team-generated.
We'll break that down later. For now, any other business tips you can give me?
There is one. Saving is not such a hard nut to crack as some business owners may think. If you change your attitude concerning saving, this too applies to investing.
It's mind over matter, right?
Yes, it is. Sometimes something as small as a mind shift can take one to great places.
Do you have an example of a business owner who started small with personal savings?
Of course, DT.
I love to hear stories of real everyday people. spending time with people I can relate to, potential customers, loyal customers.
Me too, DT. And this one is so relatable and near to home. In fact, I see you are wearing sneakers manufactured by his company.
Who's that?
Kevin Plank, the founder of Under Armour.
Tell me more about him.
Okay, Kevin Plank started Under Armour with his personal savings and 5 different credit cards. Within a year starting the company, he was broken in tons of credit card debt.
And then
he hit his target audience. His big break came when he sold his clothing to Georgia Tech for $17,000. His product began to take off and was used by NFL teams and picked up by major retailers.
And as they say, the rest is history, as today, Under Armour is a billion-dollar brand.
Time flies when you're having fun.
And it's that time already when Vina and the gang bring down the curtains.
Yes, it is, but never fear, we shall return. And speaking of that, what's up next week?
Oh, the next week. Yeah, we'll delve into saving pro tips for families.
Learning never ends, right?
Yup, you can take that cash flow to the bank.
Which is how you've all gotten good.
Gracias por escuchar.
Salut. À la prochaine.
This podcast and our other podcast are productions of Little Red Hen Industries. The supporting cast who helps me bake the bread includes
Techno King, John C. Brandy, Alter Ego, Doubting Thomas, Fact Checker, a small brown beef animal, very very small, seriously, tiny, facts really are not that big, French consultant, OpenAI, social manager, Virginia Mitchell, media expert, Favor Abbasi Ike, psychologist, William James, rabbit hole advisor, Dr. Mark Perrott, sound designer, Adobe's Creative Suite, Spanish consultant, Cameron J.K. Brandy, videographer, Eto Monkoshki, audio props, Les Paul, inspiration, many podcasts and other sources, and of course Napoleon Hill.
We also have websites, and you can subscribe to both podcasts. You can even send us a video, audio, or text message. But of course, you'll have to head to the show notes, either on your phone or on the web, to get the links and stuff. I really doubt that you would pay me to read the URLs where you can subscribe, support, or leave one of those video or audio messages. And anyway, all the clickable links are in the show notes.
And before we forget, the artificial intelligence or AI voices you hear in our work come from Google, Amazon Polly, and OpenAI, like we say in the show notes. We just love what AI can do when lovingly crafted.
Finally, you can find us on Podmatch.com, Matchmaker.fm, Podbooker and Podcast Guests, where we consider guests and consider guesting on other people's shows.
And really finally, the music for our pods comes from Cute by Bensound and from Piano Background by Nick Simon Adams, as well as from AI MuseNet. The sound effect credits go to Jackson Academy Ashmore, Canusi G, Dr. Jekyll, Joe Payne, Everything Sounds, MK Play More Stories, ERH, Sand Emotions, Big Pickle 51, and Just Kidding. Yes, that's his or her name. All on freesound.org. Also, languages are the bomb.
Paul.